It's 1943. The Allies have a plan to crack open Nazi-dominated Europe. Invade Sicily. One tiny issue? Everyone knew it. Hitler was waiting. A direct attack? Suicide. They needed a miracle, or something far stranger. To save tens of thousands of lives, they had to fool the most paranoid man alive, make him look anywhere but Sicily. But how? How do you feed a lie so perfect, so utterly insane, that the architect behind one of the world's worst atrocities would bet the war on it? The answer came from a shadowy corner of British intelligence. Their weapon of choice? Not bullets, but lies. Their battlefield? Hitler's mind. And their plan, codenamed Operation Mincemeat, was so crazy it just might work. Meet the brains. Ewan Montague, a naval strategist, and Charles Chumley, a Royal Air Force officer with a flair for the bizarre. Their idea? It sounds like something from a spy novel. Find a dead body, dress him as an officer, give him fake secrets, and then just let him wash up on enemy shore. Simple, right? Terrifyingly complex. This wasn't just faking a Facebook profile. This was 1943. Everything had to be real enough to fool Nazi Germany. Step 1, find a body. But not just any body. Their shopping list was grimly specific. Male, recently deceased, cause of death looking like a plane crash at sea, and absolutely no clues it was murder. Where do you even start looking for that? And then, a tragic stroke of luck. Glyndor Michael, a homeless man, dead from rat poison. Horrific? Yes. But for Montague and Chumley, the cause of death was perfect. Minimal marks, consistent with drowning. Glyndor Michael was about to get a new life, in death. He would become Major William Martin, Royal Marines, the man who never was. Now to build a ghost. Major Martin couldn't just be a name. He needed a soul, so they wrote him one. Love letters from Pam, an MI5 secretary roped into the scheme. Ticket stubs, bank overdrafts, even an angry dad letter. Every item a tiny piece of a fabricated life, designed to scream real to anyone who found him. These weren't just props, they were psychological anchors, designed to make Major Martin utterly believable. They were building a character so convincing he could fool the world's most ruthless regime. But the pocket litter was just the appetizer. The main course? The documents. Letters between top Allied generals, casually discussing plans to invade Greece and Sardinia. Sicily? Oh, that was just a distraction. A feint. They even threw in a slightly off-color joke about sardines from Lord Mountbatten himself. Because real letters aren't always perfectly formal, are they? Every word, a carefully laid trap. This deadly package, the letters, the life, the lie, was tucked into a briefcase, chained to Major Martin's wrist, just like any real courier. Glyndor Michael, now Major Martin, dressed in full uniform, was packed in dry ice. His chariot, the submarine HMS Seraph. Talk about a special delivery. April 30th, 1943, off the coast of Spain, deliberately chosen for its very active German spy presence, the HMS Seraph surfaced. Gently, almost reverently, they committed Major Martin to the waves, even reciting a psalm. The bait was in the water. Now the unbearable part, the weight. Would he be found? Would the Spanish, supposedly neutral but cozy with the Nazis, play ball? And crucially, would the Germans get their hands on those documents? Everything hinged on it. Then, a bite. A Spanish fisherman, just as planned. The local German agent practically salivated. The Spanish authorities, under a little persuasion, let the Germans take a peek. Every document photographed, every word scrutinized. Soon, copies were winging their way to Berlin, straight to Hitler's desk. They'd taken the bait, hook, line, and sinker. Back in Britain, ears were glued to the ultra intercepts, the broken German codes. Were they buying it? At first, skepticism. This was the odd there after all. But the sheer obsessive detail of Major Martin's life, the casual tone of those letters, it was too perfect to be fake. It had to be real. For the German high command, this wasn't just intel. It was an oh crap moment. In the biggest fish of all, Hitler. He didn't just nibble, he swallowed it whole. Greece! Sardinia! He reportedly raged. Panzer divisions rerouted. Naval fleets redeployed. The entire German war machine in the Mediterranean pivoted, dancing to the tune of a dead Welshman and 2 very clever British spies. July 9th, 1943, D-Day, Sicily. The Allies hit the beaches, and instead of a wall of steel, confusion, thinner defenses, German forces looking the wrong way. Operation Mincemeat hadn't just worked, it was a home run. Sicily fell faster, thousands of Allied lives saved, all thanks to a man who never was. This was more than just a clever trick. Operation Mincemeat was a masterpiece of psychological warfare, audacious, brilliant, utterly bonkers. It saved thousands of lives, maybe even shortened the war, and it was all built on the ghost of a homeless man, proving that sometimes the pen, or in this case a carefully crafted corpse, is mightier than the sword. For decades, the full, insane story was locked away, top secret. Ewan Montague eventually wrote The Man Who Never Was, but even he couldn't tell everything. And Glyndor Michael, the man whose body changed history, he lay in a Spanish grave marked Major William Martin. It took until 1998 for his real name to finally be added, a quiet nod to the unwitting hero of one of the war's greatest deceptions. So, Operation Mincemeat, proof that in the high-stakes game of war, the wildest gambits can have the biggest payoffs. It's a chilling reminder. Sometimes the deadliest weapon isn't an army, but a story, a perfectly told lie, carried by a man who was never really there.